The MiG-21PFM, the ultimate baddie of the Vietnam War. By now, you've probably seen the floods of these things playing the wrong game mode and ruining top-tier LRB. The top aircraft reward for 2020's Winter Operation event, this second-generation MiG-21 has been the source of a lot of confusion and debate. In today's video, I want to talk about this new top-tier interceptor, so if you've recently unlocked and decided to keep, are still grinding, or are looking at buying the MiG-21PFM, then stay tuned. You're going to need to hear this. Designed for the export market, the MiG-21PF first flew in 1961, beginning the second generation of MiG-21 aircraft. At this point, the type was still a dedicated interceptor, and the PF variant took a page out of America's book, removing the 30mm cannon from the earlier F-13 model. Supplied to North Vietnam as an upgraded interceptor for the VPAF, the MiG-21PFL downed huge numbers of F-105 fighter bombers during Operation Rolling Thunder. The PFM variant, produced from 1964, reintroduced gun armament with a pod housing the GSH-23 twin-barrel autocannon with 150 rounds. The aircraft also saw the addition of the RP-21 Sapphire search and track radar system, and later adopted the use of the KH-66 Grom beam-riding air-to-surface missile, allowing it to fulfill the role of strike fighter. In War Thunder, the MiG-21PFM is most definitely an interceptor aircraft, more analogous to the Lightning F6 and early F-104 starfighters than the third generation MiG-21s like the MF or BIS and other top-tier fighter aircraft. As such, it is a poor dogfighter, carries limited armament and ammo stores, and lacks the more advanced weaponry familiar to most MiG-21 players. Thanks to Gaijin's unwillingness to address the lasting battle rate and compression issues, the main opponents of the MiG-21PFM are going to be F-4E Phantoms, which outclass you in almost every regard. Powered by the Tumansky R11 turbojet engine that has about 20% less thrust than the R13 engine of the East German MF model, while having more the weight of the SMT, and that gun pod, which cannot be removed, serves to add more drag to the airframe. This makes acceleration poor for a MiG-21, even slower than the F13 variant from a standstill, and turning performance more akin to that of the Lightning F6. The PFM also has the lowest angle of attack of any MiG-21, and although this gives it slightly better maneuvering energy retention, its lack of acceleration negates that entirely. As for armament, the MiG-21PFM carries only R3S missiles on 2 hardpoints, a far cry from the R60 missiles it had by mistake on a developer livestream. These missiles have an extremely low load factor and relatively poor overload with a maximum of 10 Gs, making them ineffective for use against any aircraft that know you're there. Its gun armament of a single GSH-23 is difficult to lead, performs poorly in head-ons compared to Aidens or Vulcans, and without the ammunition count of later MiG-21 variants is neither enjoyable nor lucrative to use. All this is sounding like a pretty terrible aircraft for air battles, which is why I want to say that if you're looking to play the MiG-21PFM as a fighter, especially your first fighter at this BR, then you should not waste any more time or effort, or at the very least attempt to sell the coupon for the vehicle to some poor SOB on the marketplace 2 months from now. There is a better alternative for playing the MiG-21, however. Today's video sponsor, Iron Conflict. A multiplayer online strategy game featuring tanks, jets, and other vehicles from the early days of the Cold War to the modern day. Fight in 3v3, 5v5, or 10v10 matches on randomly generated maps with hundreds of iconic machines, from the M60, the B-52 Stratofortress, the Patriot, F-4 Phantom, M1 Abrams, F-22 Raptor, and so many more. The thing that has me most excited about this game is the ability to choose what combination of vehicle types you want to play, take 3 into a game, whether they be tanks, fighters, AA batteries, bombers, and even infantry have their place in this game as force recon. You can focus on tank brawls, air support, sneak attacks, or long-range artillery bombardment. How and what you want to play is up to you. Iron Conflict has just released on Steam for a limited time offer of $15, so head to the link below and check it out. I can't wait to see you lads on the battlefield. Iron Conflict, proud sponsors of the Scottish Koala. Okay, so you've activated your coupon and been landed with this purebred interceptor that does not fit the meta of air battles. Luckily for you, the MiG-21PFM sees the addition of the KH-66 Grom beam-riding air-to-surface missiles, or S-24 unguided rockets if that's more your thing. The KH-66, an early variant of the KH-23M found on the Yak-38, makes for a formidable anti-tank weapon, being guided by mouse inputs. This makes it much easier to put on target than a bullpup or Nord, keeping in mind that the missile will impact slightly above the crosshair rather than directly on it. However, it does prevent you from pulling up while the missile is in flight, like the AIM-7 Sparrow of air-to-ground weapons. Although slightly inferior to the variant found on the Yak-38, the KH-66 on the MiG-21PFM will still one-shot kill any vehicle in the game with a direct hit, and most with splash damage if close enough to the target. The MiG-21 also makes for a much more comfortable and versatile platform to launch these missiles from, with greater maneuverability than the Yak-38, a higher top speed allowing for quicker turnaround times, and the presence of an air brake. It does lack a radar warning receiver, however, making it somewhat more vulnerable than the Yak-38 to top-tier air defense systems. With a ballistic computer also included, the MiG-21PFM can be considered a side grade to the VTOL Yak-38 in terms of ground attack, but better suited to defending itself against enemy jets in combined arms battles. While less unique than the Yak-38, the PFM makes ground attack work easier and more lucrative in terms of research point gain, although with a lower SL modifier as compared to the tech tree Yak-38M. The premium Yak-38 will of course earn higher rewards and has the benefit of being usable with the very enjoyable 9.3 Russian lineup, so if you're tossing up between buying one for the purposes of ground attack, then the Yak-38 is an obvious pick. I will once again reiterate though just how poor of a decision it would be to waste time grinding or even spend money on this aircraft with the intention to play it as a fighter in air battles, as that is most definitely not what it is for. There is the potential for this to be somewhat remedied however, as the aircraft did historically carry both the R3R and R13M missiles around the same time that it received the beam riding AGMs. Performance wise however, it's still a 10.0 aircraft that even with another much needed step in battle rating decompression will predominantly face the top fighter jets in the game. While capable of out-dogfighting most models of the F4 Phantom if it is able to single them out, and easily combating most aircraft of lower BRs than it, besides the Lightning F6, the PFM doesn't fit the meta of air battles, and likely won't without significant changes that aren't on the horizon for implementation anytime soon. An aircraft which can only resort to turning dogfights with Phantoms and F104s, or seeking out Harriers and A7s, or Vautors, F100s and F11Fs in the very rare down tier, is not going to be enjoyable enough to warrant the time and or money the PFM will take to have in your hangar. Making it to those turning dogfights with Phantoms will be tough enough given the barrage of missiles that will be flung in your direction, which you cannot do anything about. And it is not a guaranteed win even if left alone, although the most likely circumstance will be that you get swooped on by a second enemy while stuck in your turning dogfight. A single kill per game is an achievement in this aircraft, and with the numbers of them being played out in RRB currently, its win rate will likely be poor. Effectively, what I'm saying is to not hold your breath for this aircraft to become any sort of competitive in air battles, stop playing it there immediately, and judge whether or not you want the MiG-21PFM purely based on its use with the KH-66 missiles in ground RB. Many have suggested that the MiG-21PFM could be lowered to 9.7 to fix this problem, and it would arguably be less dangerous than the Lightning F6 at this BR. However, this seems like a band-aid fix that only worsens the overall issue with BR compression, and is not something I would ever want to suggest. The addition of R13M infrared guided or R3R semi-active radar homing missiles would make it an effective 10.0 fighter, but until the battle rating ceiling reaches 11.3, this won't make it useful overall. The MiG-21PFM is an awful first step into top-end jet combat in War Thunder, and potentially the most underwhelming variant of the MiG-21 to date. The PFM is not something I recommend going for overall, especially if it will cost you money to finish off the tasks or buy on the marketplace. In ground battles, it is matched by tech tree options, and in air battles, while more versatile than an F104 and very satisfying to do well in, requires a level of pilot that won't care about it as any more than a collector's item. A fun oddity to have as an event reward, the MiG-21PFM is overall a victim of a game that doesn't support its use case, as well as a victim of the ever-present battle rating compression. That's it for this video. I hope you have enjoyed, and that if you did, you leave a like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on this vehicle and this video in the comments section below. If there's anything you think I neglected to cover, do come follow me on Twitch. I do stream every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you lads on the battlefield. Alright lads, post-edit Koala here. I know this video is a little late for a should you grind video, that's just the keyword for this series, but I wanted to get out a MiG-21PFM video anyway, and I definitely do want to advise anyone who's still thinking about what to do with their new coupons. I don't like to be negative in this series, but I've got to admit this one was kind of a bummer. I hope you don't mind, and thank you for watching. Cheerio. Where are you bastards? That was lucky there. I barely even aimed that shot. feel like someone's right here. Anyone else getting the vibe that I'm about to die? Oh shit! Damn it.